Of course, a good weekend for senior hockey in the province with the start of the Herder finals, but it's been a very different year for fans of the Western Royals. They were eliminated from the playoffs 4-1 by the Clarenville Caribous. The Royals changed their name from the Corner Brook Royals and played from the Hodder Memorial Recreation Complex in Deer Lake this year. Team president Ross Coates was unhappy with the level of fan support and the cost of icing a team in Corner Brook. He spoke on Friday with our own Gary Moore.
Good morning, Ross Coates.
Morning, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. The season is over for the Western Royals. They were eliminated in 5 games by Clarenville. How did you feel about the way the season ended?
It ended far too quickly for us, obviously. We would like to have went much deeper into playoffs. We would like to be still playing hockey this weekend, like every team would in the senior hockey. But, having said that, we ran into a lot of problems with injuries early in the year, and we had a hard time recouping from that. But that's not an excuse for it. Clarenville is a strong team, and they're probably hands-on favorites right now to win the Herder, and they're going on and compete for the Allen Cup. So they're a pretty vulnerable component, right? They're pretty strong.
So not the ending you were hoping for, but it's one that you can understand.
Oh, absolutely. And as regards to our regular season, we felt we had a great regular season. We finished with 26 points, 13-11 record, which is the best we've done in several years. The team played well. They played very well. Like I said, Clarenville is a very strong opponent, and they're going to give any team they play a serious run.
Let's reflect a little bit on the season. Of course, the team was based in Deer Lake this year. What was it like running the team in Deer Lake?
It was quite good running the team out of Deer Lake. The support from the town, the business community was really on board with us. The arena, the dealing with the arena was absolutely excellent. The staff was great. They did everything they could to accommodate us. They went out of their way on many occasions. There was a much different atmosphere to run the game. From our point of view, it was a much easier fit for us to run the team. It was a lot less work for us as an organization.
How economical was it compared to what it was like here in Corner Brook?
We finished the year better than we did previous years financially. We won't go into numbers, but we did finish a little better. The fan attendance wasn't what we expected. We expected a little bit more, but having said that, we were a few hundred below what we projected going into it. It's going to take some time for, the attitude of people in Deer Lake cheer for the Royals, or as it is for people from Corner Brook to cheer for the Red Wings. It would be the same idea, but it's the only option we had at the time. It is the only option we still have right now. There is nothing else on the table. There has been no other offers or anything for the team. As it sits right now, we're probably looking at repeating back in Deer Lake again next season the way it looks right now, because we got great support up there from the business community and from the town itself. It was fabulous.
I know that you just mentioned you were a little surprised with the attendance numbers. Were you surprised that the numbers were low and people maybe never came from Corner Brook like you thought they would?
I'm not so sure. We didn't get as many as we expected and hoped for, obviously, like any team. But, we've been talking to every other team in the league, and for some reason this season, attendance has been down in the entire league. It's not just us. Arbor Grace struggled all year with attendance. Talked to Clarenville when we were out for the playoffs. Their attendance is down. Grand Falls still did okay, but their attendance was down from previous year. Again, there was a new team. You can't really judge what they had. They're going to have a great year. Their first year, all teams do. As regards to attendance, I don't know what the issue is. I don't know if maybe senior hockey is gotten such an high caliber that the cost has gotten so high that the ticket prices may be a little bit too high for senior hockey on the island. That's something the league, not only us, the entire league, is going to have to look at, trying to find a way to make hockey affordable in Newfoundland.
I know you mentioned there a minute ago that as of right now, it looks like the team will be back in Deer Lake at the moment. Is there any more you can say about that? Do we know for sure if that's where the team will be?
Nothing is for sure. The season's still fairly freshly over for us. We haven't had a chance to sit down and, do up our year-end financials, see where we're sitting, look at the cost of operations. We haven't really sat down and looked at a lot of things yet. We got work to do still. Every team does. But as it sits right now, we finished on great notes up there. We finished with, good rapport with the people that's up there. So, right now we have no other offers on the table or no other presentations from anybody that, makes it more feasible for us to move anywhere else right now.
And if there were interest in other places, would you entertain it?
Well, hockey is all about survival. It's all about, trying to keep a team alive on the West Coast. We would look at any option that would be a better fit. But having said that, right now there's no question that our best fit right now is definitely Deer Lake.
Now, how much of an interest have you had from fans and businesses in Corner Brook to have the team move back here?
I haven't heard from anyone as of yet. Absolutely no one. I've just talked to some. We had quite a few corporate sponsors from the Corner Brook area that supported us up in Deer Lake, and I mean, they've had no negative sides from them at all. They said they're back on board, support us again next year wherever we move. Right.
So, talking the off season now? Of course, it's the season's just freshly over. But what's some things that you're going to be looking for in the off season for the team?
Well, it's one word, I guess: defense. Defense. That's what we need. I mean, we started out, we had a great D starting out, but like I said earlier, due to injuries, I mean, we lost probably one of the top defensemen on this entire Island League that we had this year, Nathan Saunders, with a car accident. And then we lost Steve North. We got him back. Then we lost him again, which is our captain. And, it was hard to fill them holes. I mean, late in the year, those holes are hard to fill.
From a coaching perspective, injuries is something you got to work into your game plan. But really, though, how can you prepare for that?
That's going to be tough. I mean, that's an issue that we got to look at. I mean, it wasn't only us that was hurting in that area. I mean, a lot of the other teams are struggling trying to find the same part of their game. But, our league changed a lot last year. We went from, being able to go out and recruit a player and get them to being in a draft. So once you go to a draft, once your final draft is done, you can't recruit or pick up any more players. So once you lose them, it's even tougher to get them back. I mean, obviously what you need is more depth. But, in a league like this, it's tough to have depth around because, there's only so many local players around, and then everybody else, you got to be flying them in or bringing them in on a bus or however you get them. So it's hard to have a lot of depth on your team. It's hard to carry that kind of depth, right?
Ross Coates, thank you for your time today.